I can't wait to talk about this one. No, we're good. The movie that you're making us watch today, and I feel like this is going to be just why everybody hates this movie, was Boyhood. Boyhood, I don't even remember, what was it, 2013?
14?
I guess it's long. That's when it came out, right?
Yeah, 2014 Whatever. Is when it was released.
Jake, what's your one word for Boyhood?
Relatable. Yep.
Words?
Ambitious.
Good one.
Unnecessary.
Okay.
Well, Jake, what's this movie about? Tell us what this movie is about.
This movie is about the life of a growing boy to a young man, essentially. But it's what makes this movie unique is that this movie was shot over a 12-year period. Basically, just every year of this boy's life, just like a snippet into it, like a snapshot of like this part of his life, like a formative moment, I think, in his life for over 12 years. And the movie essentially ends when he gets to college. And in a way, that's the end of Boyhood. Now I see I can already like
that is the
understand what your complaints will be.
Do you? Can you? Tell me. Why does this movie suck?
I think you're gonna say it's boring and that the acting is bad.
Those are two things for sure.
Okay, and that's and it's fair in ways, but I didn't find it boring. I think because it's mostly dialogue driven, but I think it's ever flowing. Like it has a good pace to it. Like it's always moving forward. Like there's every like event in this movie is like an important event. I think it's definitely like a big picture kind of film, but like every time I've seen this film, I've thoroughly enjoyed it from front to back.
Okay.
And so I personally didn't find it boring. I get that it's long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
You've said boring like 14 times, so I guess you could acknowledge that most people would think that this movie's boring.
I think I kind of know your taste at this point after discussing 47 films or whatever the fuck it's been.
You don't know what my taste in movies is.
So I was worried that you weren't going to like this, and obviously you don't. Like I understand that you're not really into like heavy dialogue films. And I think just because this movie's like...
You don't gotta be a dick about it, dude. I could read.
No, I'm not accusing you of not reading. I just think you like more just flashier films, I guess. I think like these, like, I don't know, movies like Jeff Who Lives at Home and things like that are like very dialogue heavy. And I think the events are...
That's not why I didn't like Jeff Who Lives at Home.
So, and I think some of the events in these films are like, seem inconsequential at the time, but they're like big picture wise when realistically, like if that's a real life person, say, like they're important regardless. They don't seem like big deal. You know, it's not like this boy's like finding a dead body and him and his friends are running on the railroad tracks.
Stand by Me is a great movie.
Right, but it's not
disagree
the same thing.
That they weren't pivotal times in this kid's life. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't think that's what made it boring.
Well, I just think the way it was all like expressed and the way it like came together and it's just, I don't know, it was very well told. And like to me, I said it was relatable. To me, like I remember those moments in my life. Like I remember being a kid. I remember these like little weird formative moments. Like I like the conversations he even had as like a teenager. They may have sound like philosophical and pretentious. I think some people would maybe have that complaint, but like to me, sure, the dialogue was sometimes like a little on the nose, but I think like they were trying to express like this is how these kids talk. Like I feel like that's how I spoke when I was like 17, when I was like a senior in high school. Like life's so grand and we're meant for all these great things, you know, yada yada yada. Because this kid was an artist.
You're pretty existential.
Yeah, so I definitely I've had those conversations, so that's why I find myself very much relating to that character.
Listen, I've eaten some mushrooms in my day.
Yeah,
I've asked these questions.
And that's how the movie basically ends, which I found it entertaining at least.
Oh yeah, it's true. I forgot about
or it was something. It was something. We don't know if it was
Okay.
mushrooms, but it was implied.
Excellent. Schwartz, what'd you think?
I like this movie. I like the idea of this movie. I like the grandiose thing of shooting a movie over 12 years with the same people and doing it about life, because that's the simplest way to do. Well, I read a lot and I watched a lot of things with Richard Linklater to see what the meaning of doing this movie was, of why make a movie over 12 years. Like, that just seems kind of ridiculous. But he said it was because when he wanted to make a movie about childhood, he couldn't think of one time. He had all these ideas from when he was a kid, and then when he was 10, and then he was 14, and then when he was 18. So instead of making a movie that has to be under 2 hours or 2.5 hours and encompass all this thing of having a couple different actors have to play a kid, because your kid can't be 4 and then 18 in the same movie. You know, he was like, well, an interesting way to do it is to do it, and no one's ever done it before, and just film for a week a year for 12 years, which I think is really cool. I like that idea. I think that's a really cool thing. But I wish they would have casted this movie with real actors. I mean, there's 2 actors in the movie that just act circles around everybody else, and it takes away from the movie for me. I mean, the main kid, I think the main kid's actually not bad. I actually don't mind him at all. It was the stepdads and just the little people that came in every now and then. They were so bad that it just made me feel like I was watching something that wasn't real, and that took me out of it completely.
They got somewhat lucky with the main kid, meeting him at what, 6 years old? How old was he when he first started?
I think he's like 5 or 6. Yeah.
I mean, and then they're like, what? I guess how do you hope? It's like when you cast Harry Potter,
right?
How do you hope that he's going to be a good actor in 12 years?
Right. And I think that goes to the defense with the casting, because like, how can you really like trust that some good actor? I mean, granted, like, sure, it hurts the film a little bit, but I think being able to rely on these certain handfuls of people to be able to come back every year whenever needed. You know, some people would probably be there for a couple of years, not need it for another couple of years, and come back later. You know, like having to rely on those actors to be there for you.
Yeah.
No, and I
difficult took away from the quality of the movie.
But there's a big challenge ahead of Richard Linklater with this.
That took away from the quality of the movie, though.
Sure, I get what you're saying, but I also think that having some people who actually have like acted before would really help in telling something that you're only telling for a week a year. I think it could have been a little better if you actually had people acting. And like, I don't think the kid was bad. I think he was great. I think Richard Linklater's daughter was a terrible actor, though. She was terrible. She was not good at all.
She's not an actress. What other? She was the sister.
She's
the sister. That's the director's daughter.
Yeah.
But again, what do you expect? How do you expect to sign on an 8-year-old child to be there for 12 years? You know, like he's got to have some sort of, I guess, control over that situation.
No, and I get it, but he
thought to himself, I can't make a great movie the right way.
Practical
so I'll
choices.
do it this way. And it's not going to be great.
This is the thing. This movie is considered a great film by a lot of people, and I think it's because of just the fact that the continuity of it over the 12-year period. And I get it. I understand that part of it, and it is impressive in its own way that it fit together. Like, it tells a story. The movie's cohesive. It tells a story. It looks good. It has some endearing moments. It has some thing, like, I get it's about growing up, and there's the Ethan Hawke scenes with him and his son are great. Those scenes are awesome. I mean, but it's because Ethan Hawke's a really good actor. You know what I mean? What's her name though? Patricia Arquette. I don't know how the hell she won an Oscar for this movie, because she was almost as bad as they were. I think like some of the dialogue in the beginning of this movie, but the thing she said just felt like she was just like looking at a script and saying the words. Like I didn't feel any authenticity in a lot of her character. It wasn't until they were older, when they were in high school, that I thought her acting actually was good. I think everything before that was pretty subpar compared to
it's
even Ethan Hawke.
Because of everybody of how bad everybody else was. I'm not a huge Ethan Hawke fan. I like Ethan Hawke in this movie. I thought he was good, but possibly because he was the only good actor in the entire movie.
Yeah. I think that Richard Linklater's made some very good movies, and he's a pioneer of independent film, and he's tried something really, really ambitious, and he pulled it off in some ways he didn't. But I mean, and that's the thing I was thinking about too, is is when I was earlier, I was like, man, as much as I love movies and everyone's got opinions on movies, you know, some people love things, some people don't. And a lot of people, I feel like in the industry thought that this was a pretty good thing to pull off. And he did that pretty well. But it's like I said, I really like this movie, but I don't like this movie at the same time because the things that I like about movies, which are interesting, complex characters.
While you were watching it, you were sending us messages that didn't sound like you were very impressed.
Well, this is the thing. I was mad. I was mad that this movie could have been so much better than it was. You know what I mean? Like,
how could it
that's what I was mad about. Like,
with
it's a
just
great
better
idea.
actors?
I just like, I don't know. There was a lot to it that I liked, a lot to it that I just think could have been
Are you
done
saying
better.
that a movie shot continuously over 12 years could have been not pulled off better, because it was pulled off well,
Yeah.
but could have been better? Because there's no way to make it like a real movie, like a real.
Well, there's
good...
certain parts. There's certain parts that could have been casted better, like the drunk stepfather, the second drunk stepfather. That guy was garbage. He was the worst actor in the whole movie. Even the second drunk stepfather, like they just did.
Oh, they did.
I don't know. I still think they were.
What?
It's just they're just like, yeah, they're unprofessional actors, but they're still actors. They did all right.
They did all right, yeah. But like,
I think it just had an independent.
It was an all right
vibe,
movie.
you know.
It was an all right movie. They did all right. With what he did all right. With what he had to work with, he did all right.
I think it's a great film. I think he did a really good job with what he did.
Yeah, with what he had to
I
work
think
with,
Richard
he did
Linklater.
all right.
I think Richard Linklater did a good job in making a movie that takes place over 12 years. Yeah, I just think that the casting could have been just better, and it would have made the movie just more compelling. The movie is just not that compelling, and not until the end. Like, I really enjoyed.
How do you
cast
someone for an X amount of years? Like, how would you go about doing that?
Who cares?
Well,
Who
at the
cares?
same-
It's not. That ain't my thing to worry about or to figure out. That's him.
All right.
At the same time, it's like,
that out and make it good.
if you're gonna do something like that, if you're gonna take the chance and like, what if Patricia Arquette or Ethan Hawke died? Then what happens? Like, you know what I mean? Like, then the movie doesn't even exist.
I was hoping the kid was gonna die at the end. I was hoping this was just gonna end in some crazy like A24 style tragedy. Would have been epic, dude. Oh, I'm going on my way to college, and he just slams that Toyota truck into some fucking semi. Oh, that would have been great.
That's not what this movie is, though.
I'm just saying, it would have.
I don't mean what if they're.
It's regular life. There's no aliens,
I know what you're saying.
Bodies,
What if one of the actors died? What would have happened?
Yeah, what if one of the actors died in real life? Then this movie doesn't exist.
What looked like that year would have been a funeral scene, probably.
Yeah, maybe they
Yeah, I
would have
guess
played
so.
it.
I guess so.
Probably would have been fucking part of it. I don't know.
Like the great what's the acting coach in Barry? He said, "Use it."
Exactly.
Yeah, the Fonz.
I think I read something like how he didn't write the whole movie in advance. He knew the ending, had a rough outline, and I think he had a, you change with time. Like, the movie evolved with time, and I think it's like the movie itself is like a time capsule. It's like devices he used throughout the film, like literal devices, like electronic devices, things like that.
The razor,
television.
And he shoved it down your throat. But he did it on purpose, and it was cool to let you know what year you were in.
Yeah, it was very time capsule.
Well, the music did that too. All the music.
Yeah,
music was
again
just shoved
pop culture references.
Yeah,
how they were dressed, everything.
It's
like if the Stranger Things cast did like every year.
Well, there's something to that though, because you don't realize what is necessarily going to be like impactful. Like, you don't know what is going to be popular in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to, it's not always easy to like have that intuitive notion of like what's gonna be this.
He used popular fashion, he used pop culture songs, and then he used the most famous. I mean, the razor is the actual device, the only device that I can remember. It was the most popular phone in the world until the iPhone came along. So,
and I believe he used that. He had FaceTime.
FaceTime
conversation. Yeah, he had Mason talking to his dad on the stairs. It was toward the end. You probably zoned out by that.
I was probably asleep by then.
Possibly.
That was like
and this is the thing too, is Richard Linklater's made some pretty classic films, like School of Rock.
Watch a good one.
School of Rock, or
Richard Linklater.
the before trilogy, or Scanner Darkly, or Waking Life, or Fast Time. What's the one he made? The famous one with Matthew McConaughey.
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's
That's
like
a great one.
Those movies are all. I would say even those movies you put up with like classics.
I think those are all great.
I think
Anthony, you haven't seen the before trilogy.
No.
You would 100% hate that.
Yeah, you would.
It's like the same as this, but like
they
just use like movies over time.
Does it have a better storyline? Does it have a storyline?
It's the story. It's a love story of two people. It's their evolving relationship over like whatever 18 years.
But it's got two actors who are compelling, two actors who bring it. That's the difference.
But I bet every other character in those movies aren't that big of actors.
Whatever.
They're just simple movies.
Better than this movie.
If that's the case, then Richard Linklater directed those actors in those movies much better.
Well, but I mean, to be fair, they're made as like films, like
but never in that
trilogy.
In never once in that trilogy did I feel that way about an actor where I wasn't like, no, that wasn't real. Not once.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't many other people in it besides the two of them.
Yeah, which is another thing. Like, I appreciate Richard Linklater's like approach to making movies. Like, he's like, well, I want to tell a story, but I have to be in the confines of this, and he does that really well. You know what I mean? He does that a lot of things. And then when he gets a budget, he kills it too, like School of Rock or Bad News Bears or fucking Last Flag Flying.
Yeah, you can just see that he has an interest in like his use of time with this movie and the before trilogy. It's just timepieces.
Yeah.
It's people.
Well, I have a whole new respect for the Hawks, Hawks.
Ethan Hawke is
after
great.
this. But again, maybe it's because everyone else was so awful.
Why do you not like Ethan Hawke? And what are your
I don't know. He just seems like a fucking douchebag. And I see his face and I just think, I hate that 90s guy, you know? I hate the hair. I hate the scruff on his fucking chin. Everything about him just says like, don't like him. Don't like him at all. Dude, never thought he was that good of an actor. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen enough movies, but
I mean, you definitely wouldn't want the before trilogy because it's all him. He's half that fucking movie.
But after this movie, I think he's a little. I liked him in this movie. I actually liked him in this movie, and I thought, Ethan Hawke, and that went through my head. So maybe if there's a movie starring Ethan Hawke, I might like it. There's another 90s guy. Who's the guy in Broken Arrow? Oh, I fucking hate
Christian Slater. Yeah, he's not good.
Christian Slater.
He's not good.
I put them like right
next to each
other.
He was good on Mr. Robot.
He was all right.
Yeah, with Rami Malek.
Still always like the same kind of guy. And then like when we watched Heathers a while back, I kind of like that kind of made me dislike fucking that guy, Christian Slater.
I mean, he's good in
small doses.
Small doses. Is that what he said?
I bet that's what he's saying. I don't know. That's
you can say small doses. You can say small doses. Shorts.
It's good.
I said he's good in True Romance.
True Romance.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's because
that's True Romance, though. That's a great movie. And that's my defense.
Tarantino wrote Boyhood.
I don't like dialogue-driven movies because I love every Tarantino movie, and that's his thing. It catches my attention a little better than most people.
Right.
Well, Tarantino's making fake movies. Well, that's a stupid thing to say. Tarantino's telling stories that are very, very pulpy and very, very satire. Whereas Richard Linklater, he's just showing you life, man. He's just the way he shoots things, the way stories he tells. He's just showing you life.
Well, that is kind of life, though. Like life isn't.
Yeah. So why make a movie about it? What is movie but entertainment? It's supposed to be entertaining. You're going to go to a movie and just watch your sister fucking paint a picture? I don't know. It's fucking... it might be cool, actually, if your sister can paint really good. But you know what I'm saying? You don't just want to watch fucking... if you want to people watch, go outside like a normal human. You don't watch a Linklater movie.
Dude, you love School of Rock. School of Rock.
I love School of Rock. I do love School of Rock, but that stars Jack Black. He's like up there with Daniel Day-Lewis, you know?
Yeah, Daniel Day, Jack Black,
G-Bays.
Did
Gene Hackman.
Did Linklater write School of Rock?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know though. I don't know that for sure.
What a completely different movie.
It is very different.
You know what? You know what his greatest movie? My two favorite.
I don't think he wrote School of Rock, so that might be part of the reason.
Have you seen Waking Life or Scanner Darkly, Anthony? Those animated films?
No, Scanner Darkly seems like something I was wanting to watch, but I never.
Those are Linklater movies too. They're interesting. I think you dig those.
Okay.
They're cool. Movies? They're cool visually.
I feel like there was one more that
Waking Life. Oh, Fast Times wasn't. That wasn't Linklater. Dazed and Confused is Linklater.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
Same thing.
What I really enjoyed about this movie is actually not even the kid story. Like I liked watching the adult stories more, like how, like just a progression of Ethan Hawke of how he was kind of just like not really caring about being a dad until then he becomes like a pretty good dad in the end, and the mom trying to make a good life for her kids, but she always had to like fucking sacrifice something for herself. Like I can relate to that just because my mom and dad were divorced, and my dad was kind of absentee until I was like 8 or 9. So I kind of that's the thing I related to with it. That was interesting, but it also was kind of sad because I can remember times of my mom just like breaking down or crying, and I was too young to really even acknowledge it. And I just remember like, oh, it's probably stupid shit like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy, especially now that we're in an age that our parents had children. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents were I think already had my sister by my age. So you got to think like, like going through the problems that you go through in your 30s and trying to raise kids. And then on top of that, being divorced, having to do it on your own.
Yeah, I felt I had a more of like a greater
Don't need
appreciation.
To make a movie about it.
I felt like I had a greater appreciation for like what the parents went through this round, because I think I looked at it more. I don't know. It's not like I've grown up in the last 6 years that much, but like the first couple of times I saw this movie was when it first came out, and the main focus was on Mason's growing up story, and it was like reflection of my own childhood. This time I did see things a little bit more from like the parent side too. So like I found that to be interesting. Like the parents grew up just like the kid did. And I don't know if I noticed that as much or appreciate it as much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super thrilling.
Well, like you said too, I think my mom was 30.
His mom was 13 Thursday. 30. And Matt is dead. We lost him.
He's still
probably said 30.
He's alive.
But he's gone.
All
right.
He's back.
I'm back.
He just had to go poop.
That's a quick poop.
What I was gonna say is, I feel like I was gonna add to what Anthony was saying about how like we're at the age where our parents already had us, and I can't even imagine having that fucking responsibility, having to fend for lives like that.
Hell no. I think, oh man, it's not so bad. Oh, but also I don't have anybody that I have to take care of. Like, yeah, I'm married, but that bitch got a job. She got a good job. It's not like I gotta be like, oh, I gotta save this much money or Jillian doesn't eat, Kids ain't got no jobs. That's the number one thing I don't like about kids, other than their smell.
Freeloaders.
They're fucking freeloaders. I know I was. I got out of there quick. When did you guys leave your parents' house? I mean, I know, Jake, you're still there right now.
I think I was 23.
Yeah. First time I moved out, I was 20. I think I was 20.
Yeah. Good point. First time I moved out, I was 18. Second time, but then I moved back. Second time I moved out, I was like 23.
Yeah.
I got out of there quick, but I realized
I was
not ready.
I also like how Ethan Hawke's character never really gets what he wants in the end, because it just shows you how life isn't fair, and a lot of times you're not going to get what you want in the end, and that's very sad but very like authentic.
But he got.
You know what would have been authentic too? A car crash. It's like the most common way to die. Like,
I guess, I mean, that's
or-
kind
or
of common for
cancer.
life.
Like she dies of like mom dies of breast cancer. I don't know.
Your biggest complaint is this movie lacked conflict? Or
Yes, 100%. It lacked
Okay.
conflict.
It
It
just
lacked
wasn't
real.
really-
It lacked a real compelling story. It lacked any compelling story at all. There was nothing. There was nothing worth following along for 3 hours. It was boring. Make the movie, make that movie. That's cool. Throw some comedy in there or
Aliens.
something. I don't know. Make me laugh a little bit.
he needs to be looking for aliens at one point.
Throw some aliens in there, dude. That kid would have believed in aliens. I'm not saying you
Would've.
gotta be science fiction with it. I'm saying make it a little more interesting. Yes. Wow, what an achievement to have made this over the course of 12 years with starring the same kid, starring really the whole same cast.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive. Very impressive. You couldn't do that with good actors. But it's just the story's boring, the acting's subpar, and the achievement itself is not good enough to ever make me want to watch or recommend this movie again.
I don't know. I think it encapsulated life very well. And I think that was the goal of the movie. And I just think that's not what you're looking for in a film. So that's why you want to recommend it.
Encapsulating life, like depressing shit? No. I want to be
Yes.
entertained. I want to go and watch an entertaining thing for entertainment. I don't want to go watch sad shit. If I want to watch sad shit, I'll fucking turn on the news. There's plenty of sad shit in real life. If I want to go to a movie, if I'm going to spend the time out of my day to watch something in the form of what entertainment, which is what all this is, right? I want to be
Sure.
entertained.
But
And that does not entertain me.
Not
Sad, depressing shit.
always. Sometimes I watch movies to make me feel something. And I think this movie definitely did
I
that.
feel so much all the time.
You just you don't care
I
if a
got
movie
so
does
much
that.
feels, dude. I'm always feeling. There's not like, I gotta smoke weed to slow my feels down.
Right.
I don't need to watch fucking Beast of No Nation to
I
see
just
what
think
real life is like. God damn,
Right.
that sucks,
just-
man. But
yeah.
you can watch that shit on YouTube.
So did this movie give you feels? Did it do it? Did it accomplish that at
Yeah,
least?
it did. It made me feel like I fucking hated this movie. No, I didn't feel. I wasn't angry because
Happy, sad.
not a
Was it a roller
no,
coaster of emotions ever
nothing.
at all? Nothing.
not a single thing.
Cold,
Not a
heartless
single
bastard.
feeling. Cold-hearted. I feel for a lot of other movies. I would not hesitate to admit that I have shed a tear for many a movie, many a scene.
You said
Armageddon.
You said early
Armageddon.
on you wanted this kid to die. You wanted this kid.
I
to
didn't
go-
want him to die. I'm just
he
saying
still had a
that
tough
would have
life.
made it a little more compelling if the whole
Yes, he
movie
deserves to
was
die. I
this
hope he burns
boring.
in hell.
If this whole movie was this boring, and then at the end he was just ripped from this earth some devastating way, that
It's
I
one
would
of
have
those
been
car
like,
shots. You just
yeah,
get
yeah,
train runs him
yeah.
down during
Or
that like wide
like the end
Toyota
of
driving.
No Country, not No Country. Yeah, No Country, when he gets hit by a car, he like
Gets
gets out and he just
sideswiped.
walks away. Like even he's no, but I just think that would have been an epic
See-
way. I was at the end. I was thinking, God damn, this sucks so bad. I hope this happens. I think that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
No,
And
you
it
rarely
sucked as it was.
you rarely text me that a movie is so bad after I recommend it.
Because I don't want to. I don't
this
want to.
is-
I want to get it all out here.
Yeah, your
But I
feelings
felt like
are,
I
yeah.
had enough to
Yeah,
get
I
out
mean,
and to text
feelings
you.
are justifiable. I don't agree with your. I mean, I can't disagree with how you feel. So
You could disagree with my sentiment, my feeling.
maybe your
That's fine.
sentiment, maybe your. I don't know.
I feel this way. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I wished I liked this movie better.
Yeah,
I wish that
different of opinion.
the feat of accomplishing such a thing was enough for me to the entire time be like, it was like in the Taxi Driver, not Taxi Driver, which is
Taxi Driver.
which is a great movie, but The Taxi Driver, which is also a really good movie. Whenever it started to get boring, and there were times where it was like, yeah, this is well. I thought, but this is all fucking true, and that brought me back.
In A Taxi Driver, yeah.
In A Taxi Driver, yeah.
I was trying to think of what
Scorsese,
Taxi Driver you were talking because you confused me.
When he started saying,
Who
you talking
Kanko's
to?
not
Not
De
who
Niro.
you talking to? What the fuck does he say? You
talking to me.
That sounds like
Right.
a De Niro thing to say. Who you talking to? Wait, it's Pacino.
I mean, Song Kang-ho may have
it's De
said that
Niro.
in the film. It was in Korean, so we don't know. Yeah, Taxi Driver.
Anyway, in The Taxi Driver, what kept me compelled, even in the lows,
A Taxi Driver.
A Taxi Driver. Sorry, I say A differently. In Texas, we say
Oh, well, you said the first, but go on. It's not
In
the.
I said It sounds like the.
Oh, okay, sorry.
over the
Today,
connection. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I got it. I get what you're saying. You were saying because it's
in the boring moments of that South Korean taxi movie was the fact that it was a true story. That kept me. I was like, I was compelled to keep watching it and actually enjoy parts that I was thinking, actually, no, that's a true story. This is not boring. This is actually kind of cool.
Well, that's an
Nothing
extraordinary.
Like
that's an extraordinary event in an ordinary life.
Yep.
This is just ordinary events in an ordinary life.
Yeah, so boring. But it's not even true. Like it's
not true. It could have been true. I mean,
sure.
a lot of those
Sandlot,
scenes,
dude. There's big dogs out there.
This is the thing that goes back to the acting too. It's like if the actors were really good, he probably could have hit the marks he was trying to hit with the compelling things a little more harder, and then maybe Anthony would like it a little more.
If Christoph Waltz played the dad
or
or the mom.
Ooh. See how you can lock Christoph Waltz down.
You know who is a good dude? the dad from Liar Liar, not Jim Carrey, but the guy who
Carrie Elways.
Yeah,
the guy from Saw.
So me and Jillian went on a Carrie Elways tangent last night. We watched Twister. We watched the movie I just mentioned,
Liar Liar,
and then we watched Princess Bride.
Oh,
great movie.
Okay. You forgot Saw, dude. He's the guy in Saw.
We were tired. We went to bed. I'll put Saw on right now. I wanted to watch Men in Tights.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What's that dude's name?
Carrie Elways or Elways or Ells.
I always forget that dude's
name. The scene in
Boyhood.
The scene when he tries to do the claw in Liar Liar is always so embarrassing. I always have to cover my eyes. And I'm like, oh, don't do that, dude.
You're afraid of the claw.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Liar Liar is probably my favorite Jim Carrey movie. It definitely is my favorite Jim Carrey movie.
Wow.
Find Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I'm not saying it's his best movie. I'm saying it's my favorite.
You ever see Butterfly Effect?
Yeah, different actor.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different actors in it. It's a good movie,
though. Is that your favorite? What's that dude's name? Ashton
Kutcher.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that and that 70s Show the movie.
Did they make it that 70s Show the movie? They didn't do that, did they?
Not yet.
I cut one together from all the shows.
So, cool. Jake, since you're such an advocate of this movie, tell us some scenes that people would want to know about, or things about the movie people want to know about.
Yeah, what was your favorite scene, Jake? What really had you on the edge of your seat?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm good. I'm bad with picking specific scenes because they all kind of rolled one into another. I
wish someone had a fucking egg eating contest in this movie.
Wow. I mean, I think what I liked a lot was like when he was in high school, like the high school girlfriend that he had, the scenes that he had with her, I enjoyed a lot. Like when they went to Austin to visit the college, when he went to visit his sister, those moments, him like kind of like becoming an artist, like him kind of growing into that field. Because I like the scenes that he had with like certain people, like there was like the teacher in the dark room that kind of pushed him to like do something different.
Yeah.
The scene, even like the scene with like the boss that he had in like the fry cook fucking restaurant. Like I just like those because that was another thing I like realized. I just remember there was like this like the specific people in your life that just kind of made a little impact. And they did simple things, but they were just like little things to like get you going in the right direction.
How about the landscaping dude? And she was like, "You should go to school." And then like 20 years later, he was serving her lunch or something.
Yeah, he was the manager of a restaurant.
I'm a maitre d' or whatever.
I was like 5 years later. Like 4 or 5 years later. But yeah, no, that was it was a little corny. For sure. It was a little
Well, what made it corny is
cool
the fact that
like,
that guy couldn't act. That guy couldn't even act. Like he was reading off a goddamn page. That's why it sucked.
That actually happened.
That happened.
That's fine.
True thing. That's a true story. He's a real person. He's actually a veteran.
Listen, you shouldn't be an actor. You should go back to school.
Why do you hate the troops, Schwartz?
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
What I'm saying is that that was a good scene. I get it, but if they had actors that were actually actors, they would have hit harder and they would have been more compelling.
You hate actors.
I like actors. I respect actors. They do a lot of shit that I can never do.
Yeah. I envy actors.
Yeah.
They can act, you know.
He had Texas to deal with, man. There's just a bunch of people in Texas.
Oh, I act all the time, dude.
Yeah. Where were you?
I go like this.
Where were you?
Hey, y'all. I went to when I'm at Home Depot and I see a guy carrying a gun. I'm like, I just go like this. And that's all. And I walk by with this mustache. I'm pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so.
I just go, and then he just immediately thinks Trump, you know.
Definitely.
But in my head, I'm actually saying Kamala Harris. I'm like, but you know. It sounds. You got to make it sound just racist enough here in Texas.
Right. Just imply your racism.
I'm just trying to buy spray paint, you know.
Right.
Go more.
Just red, white, and blue spray paint.
Just red, white, and blue. No, I buy the white and dark blue and the black stripe to make that cop flag.
I do. That's terrible. Schwartz is dead again, I think. Or is he coming back?
Why call it out? Viewers would never know. If you keep it to the DL, they'll never know.
I was just gonna roll right back into it, dude. Roll right back into it.
Oh, I like to call
roll
you out
on the ocean, you know. Roll right back into it. Like I'm at fucking Coachella rolling, you know what I'm saying?
What was your favorite scene, Schwartz?
Good question.
Favorite scene was probably when Ethan Hawke and him were talking at the in the green room of the concert of his roommate's fucking band. It was cool just because at that point I feel like that kid who's been in this movie for 12 years has actually like got some experience being this character, and this is the end of it all. So he probably put a lot into that and I probably had a lot of opinions on who his character was, and I thought that scene was pretty good. I thought at that point the kid and Ethan Hawke were not maybe on the same level of acting, but it at least was realistic, and I thought that was the strongest part of the movie right there.
Right.
Have you guys watched Harry Potter? Like all those movies?
No.
Well, watch
I've
that.
seen a couple of them.
It's the same shit over 8 years. It's not 12, but you see the same kids, and they get 3 kids. Not only that, they get five kids. Same kids. Long span of time. You watch them grow up. At the very end, they're adults in those characters, and you're thinking the same thing. You're like, wow, I mean, they spent a long time being Hermione. You know, she's really good with her daughter. Her and Ron are like.
That sounds like it would take me way longer than
movie.
2 hours and 45 minutes, though.
Watch. I think all 6 of those movies combined are just under however long this movie was.
Oh, there's 2 hours and 44 minutes for all.
That's
6
it.
movies?
That's it. I thought this movie was at least 16 hours.
No, 2 hours,
I was
45.
watching Lord of the Rings, but if Lord of the Rings was a Linklater movie.
Lord of the Rings had way more endings. This didn't even really have an ending. It just kind of ended.
Way more endings. But I'm just saying that feat was accomplished in Harry Potter. over eight movies.
It's too many movies. This was
Yeah.
done in one
I
movie.
get what you're saying. I do.
Life
I get
of,
that.
of a boy in one movie. 2
This
hours,
is the
45
life
minutes
of
at a time.
5 kids in 8 movies, and they were fucking wizards, bro. You see what I'm saying? That was a way more compelling story.
And that shit but that shit ain't realistic to me. I prefer the realism aspect of it. But this is
No,
just
it's not
preference.
realistic. They're wizards. They get beat up by trees and shit. It doesn't matter. It's more interesting.
Might be more interesting to you.
You've never seen it. I've seen all
I
10
haven't.
movies. So
10 movies now. Jesus.
eight of those, and then this one. So 9 movies. I've seen all. I can't say I've seen them both. You know, I've seen them all. I have the opinion. Ball's in your court. When you watch all 8 Harry Potter movies, come back. Cash me outside.
All right. Give me several months. It's gonna take me a while.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. We'll talk later.
That's fine.
What's your
Fifth
favorite?
one's
What
great.
was what was your favorite scene? Do you at least have a favorite scene
Prisoner of Azkaban
of this
is
movie?
Boyhood.
Favorite
Honestly,
scene.
I watched it 2 days ago now, and absolutely nothing jumps out at me. I think Ethan Hawke had a cool car, had a couple cool cars.
It was a cool guy. Ethan Hawke was the cool guy.
He was like a cool dude, you know. I liked. Oh, you know what I liked? I do have a favorite scene, motherfuckers.
All right, good.
It was when Ethan Hawke picked up the kids, and they were. I think he was 15. It might have just been his birthday, or it was like the time right before that, the 15 when he was 15. Remember? You know, remember when he was 15? It was his birthday.
Yeah.
It was either that time or the time before that. Driving in the car, and he was like, "Hey, kid," I can't remember the kid's name. "Hey, Todd, how you doing?" And he was like, "I'm okay." And the daughter's like, "Whatever." And then
Okay.
he fucking stops the car, and he was like, "Nah, that ain't how this shit works. I ask you a question, and you're like, 'Oh, I don't know, Dad. My buddy's a little angry me." And then he like kind of. That was a good scene. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah.
That I was like, that's a cool dad.
Yeah. Ethan
If
Hawke
I was
wasn't.
ever a dad,
I don't think.
I'm gonna be a cool dad like Ethan Hawke.
Right. Yeah. I don't think Ethan Hawke was used as much as Patricia Arquette, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
preferred
yeah,
his
yeah,
scenes.
yeah.
Like
Patricia
her,
Arquette
I think
sucked.
her scenes were more on just the dramatic heavy side. Like she had the abusive relationships and whatnot, which were the hard parts of the movie to deal with. And then I think
I knew bitches like that. Not bitches.
he was just kind of just a deadbeat dad for like the first half of the movie, I would say.
Was
so
he
like I think his
deadbeat,
shit.
though?
Well, he was like, I mean, I don't think he wasn't very successful, I guess. Like, and he kind of just did his own
pay his
thing.
bills and shit. Like, well, no, he wasn't a successful rock star.
I don't know.
but
Yeah, exactly. Like there was a
successful.
like,
I'm not successful, but
we're
I'm
ma-
cool.
But they were at the baseball game, and he's just like, "What? Do you have a job?"
That was hilarious. Yeah. Who
Right.
cares? What was
Not.
that?
I guess deadbeat dad might be a little harsh, but like, just he
a
was
little
kind of like, not very successful. I guess would be the. I don't know. Kind of a
He didn't
loser.
care enough. He didn't
I
care
don't
about
know.
anybody but himself. Really, that was what it is.
Yeah, I think
Because he was
had a lot-
probably around our age, and that's
he had
kind of how I feel.
Exactly. He had a lot of growing up to do, and I think he did that in the film.
He did.
Great.
Yeah, he was great. He was. I would say maybe.
No, for sure.
He was the best actor in the movie.
Yeah, I agree. He was nominated for an Oscar, did not
For
win.
this movie?
He was, yeah.
Good
Patricia
for him.
Arquette won the Oscar for this film.
Wow.
Yep.
I know.
It was
That is
nominated for a
fucking baffling.
lot.
What else?
It was
Can
nominated
we
for a
just
lot.
quickly look up what else was nominated that year?
Dude, you know what
That's
she
the year
beat?
Hurt Locker won.
She
No,
beat out
that was-
Emma Stone for fucking Birdman, which I think is insane. Emma Stone deserved it way
What?
more.
Birdman was the film that won Best Picture that year.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
I think that movie, this one, and Whiplash were like some top runners. At least they were like probably my favorite films that year. And I know
Sicario,
Did
Whiplash.
that
he
was-
win for
that was the year.
Whiplash?
Whiplash.
Nobody.
Best
J.K.
actor.
What's
Simmons
his name?
won.
J.K. Simmons
Yeah,
won
best,
Best Supporting Actor,
supporting.
so he was the one who beat Ethan Hawke,
Good
which
for
is
fucking
justified
J.K. Simmons
because J.K.
murdered
Simmons
that
fucking
movie.
killed it. So I get why he beat.
We
Ethan
are
Hawke.
farmers to a fucking Academy Award. Good for him.
He's
No,
also
man,
the voice
he
of
did
the
like
M&Ms in the M&M
Oz.
commercials.
You ever seen the fucking
Yes,
movie
that's
Oz?
great.
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Oz or the show Oz?
Of course.
No, I never
Yo,
did
Oz.
show Oz.
Oh, Oz.
He's incredibly he's like the dark. He's just fucking like head of the Nazis in prison in this fucking HBO like the first HBO like serialized drama.
Okay, but then
He's
he was
brutal.
the farmer's guy,
He's
right?
brutal. Then he was farmers.
He was fucking Jameson in the Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies too. He was the
True.
Jameson.
He was just a great character actor. He's always been like just in a lot of
Listen,
different
I'm
small
not.
roles.
I'm just
Oz
saying.
murdered it.
He went from like what I saw
yeah.
is he went from a commercial guy that's where everyone recognized him to
Whiplash was his probably one of his best roles.
Whiplash, it was just like, bam, what's up,
he
dude?
nailed it.
And then everybody's like, nah, dude, you ever see fucking Oz? But it's true. I've seen a couple episodes of Oz.
All right, where do you guys rank this piece of shit?
That's presumption.
I'm just kidding.
Well, if you think it's such a piece of shit, why don't you tell us where you rank it, motherfucker?
No, look, it's not a piece of shit. It's actually a good movie. It's just I don't want to say it's a piece of shit.
It's not. If you can't call movies a piece of shit.
I know. It's just me being an asshole.
Like very bad.
I have a lot of respect for Linklater, man. He and what this movie was trying to do. I get it.
That's not what. But that's that respect for the director. Is that shouldn't influence your opinion on the movie, should it?
That's at least 2 or 3 of these movies I'm looking at right now has on my list. Yes, it has.
I think this movie was perfect. Like I don't think there's anything.
He says
maybe there's not perfect.
Movie.
Had some flaws, but it was incredibly well done. It was I loved it.
I
loved
think
everything
because of how much I don't like it, you're like really doubling down on how good.
No, I would have felt this way regardless.
I'm gonna put 35.
35?
Yeah.
Jesus. 35 out of 46.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Pretty low. I thought you liked this movie more.
It's a good movie, but I will never watch it again.
It's probably my third or fourth time watching it.
I know where it's going.
Where are you going?
35, huh? 35. That's where Schwartz puts it. You'd rather watch this than Carnival of Souls, huh?
Yes.
Carnival of Souls is a cool movie.
Yeah. It was a good movie, but I'd rather watch this again.
But Heathers, MacGruber, and Citizen Kane are all better than this, in your opinion?
No, I'm putting it where Citizen Kane is. So Citizen Kane's going under it.
Oh, I'm looking at your list weird. Because Citizen Kane is 32. I'm looking at your list.
No, it's 35.
Look at scroll over to the.
Oh no, you're right. It does say 32. I was looking at the other one right at 30. So I'm putting it at 32. My bad.
32. So it's right above Citizen Kane. Okay. I can see why you would put that there. Anthony, where are you putting this?
So I'm moving Carnival of Souls up.
Oh yeah.
That's just because I gotta back up my statement. And
I'm seeing it. You're putting Carnival of Souls above Cool Hand Luke because you hated Cool Hand Luke so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think about it. I kind of want to watch Carnival of Souls again. But no, this movie's going right under Creep. So yeah,
Okay.
it is now joined a very small group of movies that I would rather watch Creep over. That includes,
which are?
what is this movie? Bad Lieutenant? No, bad movie. Bad
Lieutenant. Bad Lieutenant was a bad
Boyhood.
movie.
So
yes, this is Boyhood.
So Creep, which is notoriously one of my, I hate those movies.
Right, and I love them.
Yeah, it's weird. So Creep, I now would rather watch more than Boyhood, Border, Bad Lieutenant, and Shoplifters. Something about these B movies, dude. Nah, because Basic Instinct's pretty high, and so is Blood Simple, and Brick, and Bound. Broiled Tenenbaum.
So you're saying it's just above Border, Bad Lieutenant, and Shoplifters. So it's basically
yeah. I would rather watch. I would here say something good about this movie. I would rather watch this movie than Border
Okay.
or Bad Lieutenant or Shoplifters.
Same.
And I don't know. Maybe.
Can someone write mine in for me since I don't have the capability?
You have the abilities.
Yeah, I'll do
No,
it. I'll
I
just
don't.
write it
bills,
for
I
you.
don't have the ability.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm doing it for you.
Yeah. You got the bills, dude.
No, above Citizen Kane.
On my pad.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
interesting. We
goddamn.
should just put the movies where we think they should go on your list.
This is the way I interpreted your tone regarding this film. Don't tell me numbers. All right. So my ranking is I think this is the best film we watched.
Yeah, I bet
Wow.
you fucking do.
This is my favorite film. This is literally probably in my top 5 films
Why?
ever, maybe 10
Why?
films ever. I've just told you all these reasons. It's just the way the story is told. I think is just
No.
incredibly
You told
well
me why
done.
you thought it was a good movie. You didn't tell me why you think it's the best movie of all time.
I mean, those reasons would kind of imply, but I think it's like it encapsulates time perfectly well. Like no other movies are like that. I find it incredibly realistic. Like despite the
No other movies
maybe
encapsulate time. What do you mean? Just
Yeah.
like how many different times they encapsulate? Is that what you're saying?
just like the passage of time. Like
The
it's really
passage of time.
yeah, and just
Okay.
like in certain
It's
specific
not
moments
Back to the Future,
within
right?
time. I have seen those, and those are great.
You know who does it really well is Scorsese. He does it really, really well with his like
You
Casino
ever
and
see
Goodfellas.
The
and
Irishman?
The Irishman. Well, let's
Yeah.
not
He used
say
all
the
the same
Irishman.
actors, and it didn't take 12 years.
Sure, but how much did that cost them? I don't think Linklater doesn't have
A
that kind of
lot.
movie. It was just
No.
an ambitious idea. It's this brave, ambitious
It
idea.
is an ambitious
that
idea.
No one, and it's completely unique. Like there's no other movies like this.
That's
Yeah.
why I think it's a good movie.
Doesn't
That's
make
why I agree that it's a good movie. I can't say it's a bad movie, but I will say I will never watch it again.
And I like the way it made me feel. I like all the characters. I like the moments, just the moments within the film. Like they may not seem important, but like they're formative, and I think that's interesting.
So what
'cause
is
I
this?
think
Your
that
top
it's not
5,
really
top 3?
of,
Best movies of all
all
time? Yeah.
definitely top 10.
Top 10. Okay, cool.
Top
I
10
can live with
probably.
top 10, like 11.
I don't know about
of your
top 5.
10.
Top 5. Top 5 might be tough.
It's like
Maybe
it's
like
like
number-
Lake Placid and then this.
Could be like probably like somewhere between number 7 and 9 overall. I'd have to think about.
Awesome.
that, but this is definitely would be in my top 10 ever made films.
And then of our list, it's right on top. It's the best
on
movie
top,
we've watched.
in my opinion.
This is the Boyhood is the most quality movie that we've watched
Yes,
of the 46 movies. Boy, I just want to get this clear.
It's not always
I just
quality.
I just want to
with
make
my
sure
ranking.
that we're all on the same fucking page.
It's not
here.
always quality with how I rank. It's quality, how it makes me feel. Just like it's just how the story. It's a lot of factors for me.
It's not even Korean.
It's not. You're totally right. And it's weird
I
because
don't even think there's Korean person in this movie.
Because Korean movies are better than most English-made films, and I think we've seen some of the best Korean films. That's why.
Would you put above this in your top 10? Probably like 9, right?
I don't know if I would. I don't know because like right now, like The Host is probably one of my favorite Korean films, and that's the number 3 on my list. And I had that like, it was definitely right now in the three movies on my top 3. This, Harold and Maude, and The Host. It was I was having a hard time with where I would put that, but I just couldn't get past like I think I would prefer this movie over any of these movies. But The Host would probably be in my top 10 as well. So I think maybe this would be number 7 and this would be The Host would be number 8 and this could be number 7 in my top 10 list. It's hard to say, but if there's any better quality-wise, obviously, I think The Handmaiden is better crafted, and it looks better, and it's better made. And
you'd rather
that
watch
way.
it again, right? Like you'd rather watch that movie over this one, right?
Not necessarily.
Why? Because you want to feel.
It depends. Honestly, it depends on the mood.
Would you rather watch Maiden or Tokyo Drift?
Handmaiden.
Tokyo Drift's a fucking sleeper classic. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
It's not bad. It's probably like one of the best, like low key, the best like Fast and the Furious, because it's different than the other ones.
The first Fast and the Furious is the best one, but I can see Tokyo Drift's probably the second best one.
Tokyo Drift, and then how they weaved it in like the 14th movie, they're like, oh my god, now they.
I never got that far, but I heard that
when they brought The Rock back and Statham.
Okay.
Oh no, when they brought Statham in, Statham's sister was like killed by one of the Asian dudes, and that's how they linked him in.
I think I was out around like Ludacris time.
Oh, they're not good.
I watched
Luda's in all of them. Too Fast.
All of them?
Furious.
Even the early ones.
He's Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, Anthony, would you say you like this movie or what?
No.
It's not clear.
This movie.
I think that if you have not seen this movie, and you literally have 3 hours and you want to watch a movie, it's worth checking out. But you never have to watch it again.
I will say, you're gonna hate it, but you should watch this movie if you've never seen it. For the
this was
feat
incredibly
that it was accomplished alone, that even though it's not necessarily a unique concept, it you know. They really exploit. Harry Potter did it. They really exploited the idea of using the same actors for 12 years, and for that purpose. And what'd you say? Like that's it. That is interesting. They did 1 week a year.
1 week a year for 12 years.
Just about roughly a week or a few days.
Wow, interesting. Now,
but not every actor was there every year though. Like Ethan Hawke wasn't in every year for like the first like half of the movie. You know, he was kind of came in more later.
He wasn't in there for a while, which was unfortunate.
Right. But I just noticed that there was definitely gaps in time between certain characters because they just weren't.
Well,
do you
I say watch the movie?
Ethan Hawke was out shooting fucking another movie, and then they couldn't get him.
Yeah, he was doing The Purge or something. I don't know if he wasn't available because he was.
Ethan, you can't do 1 week. It's 1 week. Fuck
right.
The Purge. The Purge.
So
is
I'm
not
sure.
a good movie.
I want to be surprised if that did affect the writing at times. Like, oh fuck, I can't. Ethan's busy all year. I can't. I gotta do a scene without. I gotta do your own. You know, I don't know.
Jung Ho for 12 years.
He's a busy man. He's high demand. He's in lots of stuff.
Ever since Parasite, he's kind of the go-to guy, right?
Well, I mean, he's been that way for like years. Like, he's in some of not all of the best, but like majority of the best like Korean films out there. He's in so many. I wish
he was in The Interview.
The Interview?
That would have been sick. Why wasn't he in The Interview?
Oh, that movie. I think he was in The Interview. I believe he was. I think he was one of the people that like worked there.
He was one of the Korean dudes, dude.
No.
Wait, anyway, you're saying Bong Joon-ho. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Song Kang-ho.
I knew you were talking about Song Kang-ho. Anthony just said it the wrong way.
You said Bong Joon-ho, and then I knew what you meant though.
I said Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, he's the director.
Oh. Song Kang-ho is the actor.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah, that's what I knew what you meant. That's why I was.
Cool. Yeah, we're on.
I knew what you meant.
We were on the same page.
What? Okay, so Boon. Yeah, he's the director, and then
Song Kang-ho.
Song
Kang-ho. Also the guy that was in A Taxi Driver.
Parasite.
Also the guy that was in The Host.
All right, so let's end this. Let's end this. Watch the movie.
He was in The Interview. He was. Credited as soldier watching The Interview.
Oh, okay.
That's really funny. I could almost picture him.
Small part. Yeah, he was in there.
Listen,
I remember seeing that in his film.
If you have 3 to 14 hours to do nothing with your life and you're not, and your number one thing about entertainment is not being entertained, it's like other things, then this movie you should watch. And
Yes,
they
if you like,
shot
if
it
you like to feel
in
feelings,
years. There's plenty of feelings in other better movies. If that's why you're going to watch a movie, I mean, you got, if you really like Linklater and you want to
Yep.
watch, and if this kid
love
that
Linklater.
stars in the movie, if that's your son, for sure, go see it. You know, or if you're related to him, or if you went to school with
Support
him
your
or something.
kid. Support your kids. Support
If
Eller Cochran.
You're like, if you're
what his
like
name
one of
was.
those people that's like, I've seen every Ethan Hawke movie. Go see it. This is one. You gotta check it out. I don't know anyone that's a Patricia Arquette fan, but there's
She's made some
reasons to
classic
see
films.
this movie.
Eller Coltrane.
Name 16 Patricia Arquette movies.
True Romance, Stigmata,
I've seen The Lost Highway. Another,
Lost Highway, Little
Lynch
Nicky.
film. It's a wild one.
She made some classics. Yeah, David. That's my favorite David Lynch film, only because it's the first one I ever saw, so it stuck with me.
Mind blower.
Yeah. I was actually gonna pick that one day as a movie.
It's possible.
Jake, I'm not saying
right.
you're wrong. I'm just saying, what's next? Like, what are we watching next?
All right. Sure.
I say
Bye.
we do something under 2 hours. But that's
All right. So, well, Schwartz's pick is next, and we can talk about that when we.
Let's talk about that movie. Press record.
Yes.
Bye.